Hello and welcome to the Empire State Trail Weekly Update, a look at the news from across the Erie Canalway and Empire State Trail. And this is the update for April 5th to April 11th, 2026. And as I'm recording this early on a Monday, I'm looking outside and seeing snowfall, so yuck. But we'll think warm thoughts as we look at this picture from Lock 54 at Loch Berlin on the enlarged Erie Canal we took last year. And hopefully, not too long, things will look like that again. Well, Bob Barnes at the Clyde Welcome Center noted what might be the first cross-state riders of the year. Look down here, a couple of young men from Brooklyn had taken the train out to Buffalo and are riding back. And this was April 3rd, so that was a nice warm day that day, but hopefully they've made it home. These guys are probably knocking off 100 miles a day, so they could do it pretty quick. But might be the first riders of the year. Has the season begun? We'll see. But if you're in Clyde, stop at the Welcome Center here. The crew here will have you ring the bell and sign the book and get your picture taken and all that neat stuff. They have water and information about Clyde and central New York areas that you want to visit on your way through. So in policies and planning, this article is popping up into Google Alerts this week. It's a little bit dated. I think I saw some of this last fall when they were first talking about this, but it was updated as March 13th, so it is fairly recent. Bike and walking trails to lose hundreds of millions under the current administration. The number they're giving is $750 million in cuts. Of course, Rails to Trails and other organizations have come out strongly against this. They're taking away They're considering this stuff to be woke, and they're giving it to cars, roads, and bridges. So it's a policy thing that people on the left like. So, yeah, take it for what that is. The good news, why I'm bringing it up here, is that the Empire State Trail is largely complete, and it is fairly self-supported, I think. I've read about by New York State. So these funding cuts won't directly impact the Empire State Trail system. Where it could impact the Empire State Trail system is other connector routes. When a village decides they want to have a trail and they apply for funding for what they're calling the last mile connection. So anything that might connect to the Empire State Trail, then branch off going into a downtown area or to a historic area. One of the news articles specifically mentioned the Long Island Greenway as one of the things that could be cut or see funding cuts. But Parks and Trails New York has come out and said that their statement is that the federal environment is challenging. New York's dedicated state level funding provides a buffer that many other states currently lack. So that's nice to hear. The governor is firmly behind this green infrastructure, whatever you want to call it. And so that seems to be good news for us and bad news for everybody else, especially if you like going to other places and touring. You want to see these things happen. Okay, let's see what else is going on. And speaking of planning, the Capital Region Transportation Council, along with National Grid, Parks and Trails, and whatever nice info, got together a couple weeks ago and put on this webinar, utility trail webinar. If you're looking at a power line corridor and you're saying that might be a great place for a trail, and you're got to get together with whoever makes it happen, this tells you how to make it happen. And this is not something you're doing at the volunteer level. You might be able to start at a grassroots level and work your way up, but you are definitely going to need everybody on board to make this happen. You got to have the town or a city or the county or whoever your governing authority is, working with National Grid and working with everybody else hand in hand to make this happen, because as a priority, or they say their priority is the delivery of power, not bicycle lanes. And but they will work with you if you have a good case for having a line there. And there's one out in the west of Albany there, Power Line Greenway or Power Line Bikeway, that where they've made this happen. They talked about it at the Empire State Greenways Council or Greenways Conference last fall. So it can happen. It just takes a lot of work, and this will be a good primer for you to see what it takes. So let's look at trail closures, and not much has changed. Still have the closure down in Manhattan, down by where they're working on a tunnel, and there's some lane reduction there. Let's flip over to the cycle, the Canalway map here. And so we still have the big closure. Probably the biggest one on the trail right now is the one out in Buffalo around LaSalle Park, so you're going to have to use downtown streets for that. But the streets have bike lanes. There's the one in the Gates area where they're still resurfacing the trail. I think that's still going on. They haven't lifted that closure yet. There is another one here in the Rochester area that's trail adjacent, so it's not right on the trail, but one of the greenways that connects Rochester downtown to the trail. There's a closure right in this area here on the west side of the river around Violetta Street for a brownway cleanup, and that's going to last a year. But there is a trail on the east side of the river that, hopefully is they're detouring you to. It's not a real big closure. We have the bridge work over the trail here at 490. So where the trail goes under 490 there in East Rochester. And they're just cautioning that there might be a flagman on hand to keep you safe. Let's go out to Durhamville. They're still working on the aqueduct there. So there's a short detour around that. They still have the ongoing lock closure here. So normally you walk across the gates, I think, to get from one side of the canal to the other. And they've got that closed off, so just use, if you're in that area, you want to use Route 46 instead. And that's all the closures that I've noted for now. And then looking at the calendar, this is still April, it's still early. As I said, it's snowing outside. So we have the Canal Clean Sweep coming up on the 17th and 18th here, or 17th, 19th. And if you are one of these people who really want to try out volunteering, but you're a little afraid, you're a little timid about getting out with a group, this is a good time to get out and meet the local people who are working on the trails, the permanent or not long-term volunteers, let's say. Get to know them. If you don't like them, you're there for a day. You cut out at lunch. Something happens, and you just say, "This isn't for me." You cut out at lunch. You're not going to lose any brownie points. But it's just a nice way to give back to the trail system and get to know the people. You might enjoy them. You might make new friends, and you might want to go back and help out more. So I always say these events, these organized events, are just a good opportunity to kind of get out and see what's going on out there. The trails do need your help. They do need people to be looking out for them. Government cannot do it all. A lot of these trails were created by volunteers who got out and did the heavy work, and they need new volunteers to come along and carry on the work. So the Canal Clean Sweep, it's a little late to start a hosting cleanup, but you can think about it for next year. But they do have a map, and you can find find an event near you, and you can see all these events that are going on across the state. So it's easy to find something next to you and get out and give it a go. And then the weekend after is the National Historic Marker Weekend, April 24th to 26th. And again, this is another organized event. This one is the W.G. Pomeroy Foundation, who's the people who put up all those historic markers. Across the country, they're doing this work. But they have an event, so you can go out and you can, just clean up the marker in your area. probably not a lot of people doing this. They might have a group, but they might, if you have a sign and you just want to go out and do something nice and feel good, get out and clean it up. Pick up the trash around the base of it, straighten it up if it needs it. And you can also repaint them. They do have some helpful YouTube channel stuff, how to clean up this marker properly, how to repaint it so it doesn't just fall apart at the next rainfall. So again, that's April 24th to 26th. And then the bike tours are coming up. I saw a posting from Parks and Trails. I think they're extending the early bird registration. So, but I wouldn't wait too long if you're thinking about doing it. The Cycle the Erie Canal event, July 11th to 19th, that's a full week. And the Cycle the Hudson Valley is a couple days shorter because it's not as long a ride. But they don't need volunteers anymore, but they're still looking for riders. So that's a real fun way to get out and explore the trail. They have a rider buddy program this year where if you're new and you're unsure, you don't have a friend that you're riding with, they'll pair you up with somebody who's experienced, done it a couple times. And they're also doing bike rentals in case you're from far away and you don't want to bring your bike. You can contact them about doing a bike rental. And that way you don't need to worry about schlepping your bike from one end of the state to the other. So check out that page. And that's all the news we have for this week. Just a reminder, keep right, pass left. Use the words on your left or behind you or coming up on you when you're out there riding. Not everybody does this. I think most seasoned bicyclists will do this, but it's very helpful to let somebody know you're coming up behind them. Bikes are amazingly quiet. Fast, and sometimes these people are distracted. They're on their phone or listening through the earbuds. It's just, and you can really hurt somebody. You can hurt yourself. So, call out. Don't go whizzing by, because if you go whizzing by, you can startle them. Then they turn, they naturally turn around and turn left or whatever, and maybe step into the route or the path of the person behind you. We even say, on your left, and we'll pass him by, and I'll say there's another one behind us, because sometimes people will just see you go by and they'll step out. So we'll just say there's more coming. Just let them know, and then say thank you if somebody says that to you. Well, thanks a lot. Give them a wave or give them a nod or say thank you. It doesn't hurt to say thank you, does it? So I would play this, but it's just a short little animation, and the screen grab doesn't pick up the sound, so just says make yourself known as you're passing by. We'll let it go there. So that's it for this week's Empire State Trail Weekly, and taking a look at one of those historic markers that the Pomeroy Foundation installed in 2021. This is out in the Clyde area by Loch Berlin. We have to know that this is an independent weekly update and is not affiliated with New York State, the Canal Corporation, or any official trail agency, or any unofficial trail agency, in fact. Information is based from publicly available sources and rider reports. And we thank you for listening. Remember to give this a like and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.
Clinton's big the cliffs rise steep. The river runs fast and the shadows keep. Past Utica's bustle to Rome's honored ground, where the first spade of earth with a cheer was found. At Syracuse's Waylock the stone walls remain, where Salt once was king of the empire's gain. Through Palmyra's village the presses once rang, through portside towns where old stories still hang. Rolling, rolling along the canal on the Erie Canalway train. Through Rochester's arches of aqueduct stone, across Medina's culvert I'm never alone. The orchards of Albion line